Oh, hello there. Kind of caught me off guard. Welcome to another exciting episode of Knife Chats with Tobias. Back in 2010, Schrade was licensed to produce a number of knives celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Boy Scouts, and I managed to pick up two of those knives back at that time, so 11 years ago. And well, I still have the knives and the tins that they came in. Both of them are pretty cool knives. I will show this one at a later time, the one in the smaller tin. But I was watching Knife Detector, and he broke out his 96 OT, which was made in the USA. And I said I had a knife similar to that, and that's what is in this tin here. This is the 97 OT. The difference is this one was made in in the year 2010. So this is after Schrade went bankrupt and then was reintroduced with knives coming out of China. And this is one of the early 97 OTs that were made in China by Schrade, but it is still a knife worth looking at. Okay, as cool as the tin is, this is a knife channel, so enough yapping about the tin and Schrade and their bankruptcy, and let's take a look at the knife. Let's first pull out the sheath, which we'll talk about in just a second. It was a nice presentation. You got the red felt on the inside and then the knife down below the sheath. The sheath was like so. And here's the knife. And those handles on there, at first I saw that, man, it's like, wow, that is bright. And I wasn't sure if I liked it or not, but it did not take long for these bone handles to actually grow on me, and I really do like them, and they kind of go with the theme of the knife. I believe they're actually called tiger claw or something like that. I know it's an orange color, and I know there was something tiger in the name there. I believe it was tiger claw, but because this is the Buzz Saw Trapper, it also kind of looks like lines from the Buzz Saw, so it's kind of like a different take on like a Sawcut bone in orange. I'm not sure why it was done this way, because this is a 100th anniversary Boy Scout knife. You still just have an old-timer shield there. Matter of fact, the only thing on here that says this is a 100th anniversary knife for the Boy Scouts is right there. 100th anniversary, 1910, 2010, Boy Scouts of America, with the little Boy Scout emblem there. And you see there's Schrade. And then on the back side here, on the tang marking, it says 97 BRBSA. Now, the BSA obviously stands for Boy Scouts of America. I do not know what the BR stood for. I should have said like 97 OT BSA, because the other knife I have, which is an Uncle Henry knife, has UHBSA. If someone knows why they call this BR instead of OT, send a note my way, because this is truly just a 97 OT knife, with the OT standing for old timer. As you can see, it's a nice, typical long clip blade you find on a trapper. Yes, this is a trapper. It is a Buzz Saw Trapper. It is also a bearhead trapper. As you notice, there's no bottom bolster here, which is why it's a bearhead instead of a standard trapper. A standard trapper would have a bolster on both ends. The bearhead has the bottom bare. Why it's called a bearhead, I don't know, but that's what they've always called it. Old timer shield is nickel silver. You got brass pins, brass liners, full brass liners on top of that. And as you can tell, the middle one is a liner lock for the saw blade. We'll get that out in just a second. Also on these scales, or on the handles, you have a couple. If this were a Victorinox knife, these would be known as scale tools. I don't know what they call them here. Maybe handle tools. You've got the long pick here, which is a metal pen, very sharp and very pointy. Mine came a little bent, but I was able to straighten it a bit. And then what I did is I took an emery board and I polished it up with an emery board, because originally this thing was almost impossible for me to pull out. I do need to line it up correctly in order for it to go in and out, though. If you put it in wrong, it becomes very difficult to come out again. But it is also difficult to put in wrong. If you notice it, you might not notice it right away, but there's actually a little more space on the bottom than there is on the top. And if you look at the pin here, it is the same case here. It is not perfectly in the center. I don't know if that's supposed to be the way it is or not, but that is the way it is. Maybe the earlier USA ones had it perfectly centered and you could slip this in any way you wanted to, but not the case on this one. I know that that little scratch on the bottom there goes on the bottom, and then this goes right in place, and I can pull it in and out with no problem. Opposite side, you have a pair of tweezers. Now, Knife Detector, when he was talking about his 96 OT, commented that this tweezers are very strong and very good. I don't think they're quite as good on the Chinese-made version. This one was made in China in 1910, but they are pretty good, and you can see there's a good flex there, and you can actually pinch skin and pull. So yeah, they're not that bad at all. I do believe they are better than the typical tweezers you find on the Victorinox knives. I do believe they're better than that. I don't know if they are better than the ones you find on the old Vingers, but I do believe they are a better pair of tweezers than you find on the Victorinox knives. Sorry, Victorinox fans, you know I'm one too, but you gotta give a knife the props when it's got them. And again, I just love those handles. They're really kind of cool and something you don't normally see on Schrade knives. But the big thing about this knife, and the thing that sets this apart from all the other trappers out there, is this blade right here, the Buzz Saw blade. It's a nice wood saw, and you can see you got two lines of teeth running there. It's definitely two rows of teeth, and it cuts wood really well. Is it as good as the saw blades on my Victorinox knives? Not quite, but I mean, it is definitely a very, very close second, and it cuts through really well. It cuts on the when you're cutting the wood. It doesn't cut so much when you're pushing away. It cuts when you're pulling back. So you got to get used to getting your thumb in there and pushing down and pulling back, and then it just rips through wood like a buzz saw. And it may be why it's got the name you got there. But very well made knife too. Solid as can be. I do not know the blade's still in there, regrettably. I don't know if it's a 3CR or a 7CR. Maybe someone out there can tell me. And I don't know if the steel that was used in this knife is the same steel that is being used in the current production 97 OTs. I just don't know for sure. I believe this is either a 420HC or 440A equivalent steel. It seems to act that way. It cuts very well, and the saw cuts really, really well. Oh, I wanted to show you that. Here's the lockup on there. Comes over really far, but it catches really good, and it is tight. You don't have to worry about it closing up on you. Obviously, the main blade does not have a lock, but you press over and nice, good closing snap, and open it up. Nice and tight. No wobble going on. I have not used this a lot, but I have used it a little bit, and I'm pretty happy with it. And the main blade also nice and tight, absolutely no wobble to it. You can see the fitting around that bone and everything. It's not bad. I can kind of catch it well, actually I thought I could. I can catch it right there, but not here. And Well, you don't have to worry about the back bolster, it isn't there. But you can see it does fit nicely. Very nice, smooth fit all the way around. And the cutouts for the bone, you know, no problem there either. It's nice and deep. And this is bone. They cut into the bone and made a nice slot there for it. So not something you usually see. Usually that's in plastic and stuff, but this is not plastic as far as I know. From what I understand, it is bone. And it does look like bone to me. I have not done the burn test, and I'm not going to. Okay, there it is. But you can see it. That's how pretty it is. If you like orange, then you definitely like this knife. As for the little sheath or pouch that it comes with, it has this backing here, which is very tight. I have not used the sheath at all, but well stitched, very well done. And you've got the Schrade little guy hammering there in the top there, and then you have what is that, Schrade also on the buckle there, or on the snap. It's a very strong snap too, and it's nice, thick, heavy leather. Nicely, I don't know what they call that around the edges, burnished. It's well burnished around the edges. Knife goes in there quite well, fits nicely. Snaps good. You can see it there. It's very nice. Would definitely work if I were to go and bother to use it on a on my belt, and it would break in quite well. You can see nice lines going on there. Probably should give it a little oil. I need to get a little mink oil on there. I have not done much with it. But there you have it. That's the 97 OT that I have, or more correctly, the 97 BRBSA. This knife is currently available, but not in this version, not in the 100th anniversary Boy Scout version. This is a limited edition run that they did back in 2010. The current version of the 97 OT has the that Sawcut Delrin material that they use. This is a 23 OT that I have in that material. This is my least favorite material used on any knife. I just do not like. I like Delrin, but I do not like Schrade or Old Timers Sawcut Delrin. I don't like the coloration of it or anything. That color here, I guess it's supposed to be like a natural bone color or something. It just kind of a pukey color to me. I just don't like it. I know a lot of people do, so you know, to each his own in that case. But if you're interested in a 97 OT these days, that's what you're going to get it in. And they go for somewhere around 20-25 bucks. So really not a bad price when you consider what you're getting with it. You'll end up getting the knife, the sheath, the little tools on the backside and everything else. And, you know, just the classic pattern with that buzzsaw blade there. The liner lock buzz saw. But there you have it. That's my 97 OT. It is not one that was made in the United States. If you're trying to find one of those, well, you're good luck, first of all, and then second of all, to find one in really good shape, you're talking probably close to $100 or so. One in not so good shape made in the USA, maybe $50, but you can get the one made in China today for around $25. This one here, I don't know how much they go for, but I have a feeling it's more than $25 these days, because like I said, this is a limited run. In any case, there you have it. That's my 97 OT. Stick around for a few slides. let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. And also, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.